My boy Conan, it's finally time to discuss your films. And I know you guys have been like, hey, this came out a while ago. Well, it did, but for some reason mine got delayed in shipping and I got it way later. You know, I did get I was trying to figure it out with the mail, the parcel man was holding on to it. He was like, yo, I love these, I want these, but they were for me, and so I finally got them. I used my barbarian skills and I destroyed him and I took this back from him. But anyway, let's finally unbox this thing, get a review out. Let's talk about the video, the audio quality, the special features, and all of that kind of, should you buy this, should you not buy this, you know already, before we get into anything else, you should probably buy this thing, because it's awesome. So I got the big box set. I didn't opt to get the individual releases. I just liked the look at this, and I like the big box sets. I think they're cool. It houses both of them. It's gonna be on the shelf like this anyway. I didn't need the separate releases. This has all the same stuff in it. So there's the front of this thing. You got Conan Chronicles, you got your Conan Barbarian, Conan the Destroyer, got all that. Very plain back. Movies housed in this hard shell box. Let's get into this now. Let's see what is in store on these 4K discs. Anyway, we got a lot packaged in here, so we're gonna separate these and go through these individually. So we've got our Conan the Barbarian. This is the same artwork that you would get if you bought the slip-covered versions, so just know that going in. One downside, these are kind of flimsy. I know I talk about that a lot anyway, but these feel flimsier than the normal Arrow stuff, and I don't know if the individual releases kind of have the same problem. I didn't get those, but you do get these cool art cards in there, some set stuff. These are pretty awesome. We're not going to go through all of these individually, just a couple of these. You also get these in the Destroyer one as well, so that's pretty rad. Now on this disc, you do get the theatrical version, the international version, and the extended cut all in 4K seamlessly. It's pretty awesome how they did that. But you get your disc 1 featurette with all of that, and then you also do have a bonus disc that has all your special features. We'll get into that later in the video. Let's get on to Destroyer, not Barbarian. I already talked about that. So there's the Destroyer front and back. Again, you get some nice art cards in this thing showing off your boy Arnold with all his muscles. He's got all his muscles everywhere. Muscles are everywhere. This is like an ad for a Bowflex or something. You can just pick Conan up there. You do get your 2 theatrical posters. You can throw them up on your wall like you're 15 and you just want to get into Mr. Universe. But anyway, these look like they're the same as the artwork there. I will not be putting these on my wall. Unfortunately, they're pretty covered. But if I could, I would. Just right over the bed. Just Mr. Conan right there. Before I go off into slumberland, I could think of being the Barbarian and the Destroyer. Anyway, I was going to say. Anyway, let's get into this book. Okay, it also comes with this giant-ass book here. There's a lot of stuff in this. I've read through some of this, some production stuff, some timeline stuff, the location stuff. There's a lot to go in here. So that's what I love, it's really cool. I like these Arrow releases. So I have not been a big Arrow collector over the years. I am trying to rectify that now, while I'm also trying to maybe get into some second type stuff. I don't know. I'm trying to branch out a little more than my Vinegar Syndrome and my Scream Factories and my Blue Undergrounds and the stuff. I do, like Severin, I do collect a lot of stuff. It's just, I haven't been a big Arrow collector. I don't know why. It just, some stuff didn't speak to me, and I was more horror focused, and yes, they do horror stuff, but some of it just wasn't for me. And now I'm branching out, obviously not just collecting horror, more so, and trying to kind of round out my collection as opposed to just being so hyper focused on horror. And so this was obviously one I had to get. I love Conan the Barbarian. I love the second one. I like the Destroyer. I don't know if I like it more. I like them both. I think they're both good. On the video front, this is a new 4K scan of the camera negative. Got Dolby Vision, HDR10 compatible. So if you don't have a Dolby Vision set, don't worry about it. You'll still get HDR10. It looks fantastic. It's a very grainy movie, and I think the first one looks rougher than the Destroyer. I think the Destroyer looks a tad bit better. Obviously, budget was a little bit better. There was some success there, but I do think they both look solid for what they are. Again, very grainy. Some parts look better than others, but overall, on a video front, I think this is a standout release. I think they look really good, but again, there are some disappointing scenes that are very soft, kind of muddy, but again, there is some fine detail in like your outdoor scenes. I think the original, like in the like when they're all doing the fight in the original Barbarian, I think that looks pretty good. Very grainy, but it still looks pretty good. So like I said, there are some rough patches, but I think they did the best job they could with the source material they had. So overall, I think it's a standout release as far as the video comes from. Now, on the audio front, and let's go back. Let's rewind a little bit. The score for that, I'd give it a solid 4 out of 5. I think it's good. It's not amazing. It's not like everything I'd hoped it would be. But again, you know, mixed in with what we're going to talk about, I still think it is worth a purchase. Let's get into that audio. So we do have the original mono, but we also have a newly mixed Atmos track here. Similar to like what they did with Jaws and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They're taking a mono track and making it into an Atmos track. Does it work? In practice, most of the time, yes, I think that's kind of the bigger feat. I mean, it looks fantastic video-wise. On the audio front, I like the mono track. It sounds fine. The Atmos track, I think, does kind of round out and builds that atmosphere a little bit more. It does kind of broaden and make those big battle scenes sound better. Now, I had hoped that it did kind of have a oomph and you know, a pop to it. It doesn't have that fully, like especially in the title track where it's kind of like building up, he's telling the tale, and then you go into that soundtrack. It's kind of a letdown, and again, and I'm not the only one that has stated this. Other people have stated that that's kind of what they were looking for, that oomph right in the very beginning, and it just doesn't hit like you would want it to hit. It's not bad, but again, it just doesn't have that oomph that a modern Atmos would have. Obviously, clear this is not a modern Atmos, but again, I think it sounds pretty decent. It does fill the room with those scenes, so I think for the type of movie this is, I think the Atmos does actually build a little bit of that excitement in those action scenes. But overall, I think it's a solid job, you know. It could have been worse. It could have been way worse. So I think they did a good job there. I'm going to give the audio, I guess a 3.5. I don't think it's fantastic, but I do applaud them for taking the Atmos and doing something different with it and not just giving us the mono track. I do like when they're experimenting and they give you both options. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre one I actually think was pretty cool. It did add some stuff. It's not just like, hey, cricket flying over, plane flying over, let's add that in because we have nothing else, which they have done with some releases. Anyway, I think the audio is good, not amazing, but it's still a stellar release altogether. Now, let's talk about these special features. We've got a lot of special features. So we've got Conan Unchanged, the making of Conan, an archival documentary from 2000 featuring interviews with Schwarzenegger, Milius, Stone, Jones, Lopez, Bergman, Plurtis, and several others. Designing Conan, a newly filmed interview with production assistant William Strout. Costume Conan, a newly filmed interview with costume designer John Bloomingfield. Barbaric Effects, a newly filmed interview with special effects crew member Colin Arthur and Ron Hone. Young Conan, a newly filmed interview with actor Jose Sands. Conan and the Priest, a newly filmed interview with actor Jack Taylor. Conan the Barbarian, a newly filmed interview with assistant editor Peck Pryor. Crafting Conan's Magic, a newly filmed interview with visual effects crew members Peter Curran and Catherine Keene. Barbarians and Northmen, a newly filmed interview with filmmaker Robert Edgars on the film's influence on the Northmen. That's an awesome one. If you like the Northmen, definitely check that out. I was super interested. That was the first one I watched. I was like, I like Edgars. Let's talk about this and see how this goes. Great. Behind the Barbarian, a new filmed interview with John Walsh, author of Conan the Barbarian, the official history of the film. A Line in the Sand, a newly filmed interview with Alfio Laredo, author of the cinema of John Miras, Conan, The Rise of Fantasy Legend, an archive featurette on the film's literacy and comic book roots. Okay, we've got about 20 more, so I'm not going to read them all off to you. I read the bulk of them off to you. Damn, there's a lot of special features on this thing. We could go on. This is all on the Blu-ray, but there's some new commentaries on the 4K, but overall, there's a wealth of options on Conan the Barbarian. There's a ton on here as well with the Destroyer. So overall, man, we got a lot of special features on this thing. When reading them, I was like, I knew there was a lot. But damn, I didn't know I was going to be reading you a novel. So I'm going to stop so you're not sitting here for 20 minutes listening to me read out special features. Anyway, there's a lot here. There's a lot to love here. Special features wise, we're giving it a 5 out of 5. This is incredible. There's so many new special features on this thing. It is packed full, and that's what you want. You get the making of from 2000. You get a lot of like archival stuff, but you also get a wealth of new special features, which is what I'm here for. So we got a lot there. So 5 out of 5 on the special features front. Now, overall, the movies are fantastic. This is, everybody loves Conan. Well, if you're watching this and you're buying this, you probably love Conan. Which one you like, can go up in the air. Some people like Barbarian, some people like Destroyer. Let me know down below which one you prefer. Which one did you get? Did you get both of these? Did you get this one? Did you get the individual releases and just pick the Barbarian, or did you pick the Destroyer? Which one did you pick? We're not going to talk about that remake because it's bad. But anyway, I love both these films. They have a soft spot in my heart, and I love the packaging for this. I do kind of wish I had been able to, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, I like the package I got. I'm happy to add it to the collection. I'm happy that I'm slowly picking up more Arrow stuff. I need to pick up that Warrior set. I keep saying that. I need to get it. I think unless somebody physically like sets it in my hand and it's like, here's the Warrior set, I don't know how it's going to go. I've got so much going on that sometimes I've got a tunnel brain. If it's already happened, I'm not looking back. I'm focused on the current things and then slowly getting out of print stuff to add into my Vinegar Syndrome. That's kind of how it looks. So if somebody's like, here, Chris, here's the Warrior set, I'd be like, thank you. Fantastic. I need this. I don't know why I'm not buying it. But anyway, that's just how my brain works. The collector mindset. There's so much that you can't look back. There's so much you can't look back. But anyway, this is a fantastic release. Overall, this is a solid 4.5 out of 5 for the entire set. This is a fantastic set from Arrow. They did not disappoint. I was super excited when they announced this. And again, looks fantastic, sounds good. The Atmos is experimental and kind of fun. But overall, I think it's a good release, I think it's a solid release from Arrow, and I'm excited to kind of dipping my toes more into the Arrow stuff. But we've talked a lot about Conan the Barbarian anyway. If you like what we do here, consider becoming part of the collective. If you like to see more and extra videos, go check out the Patreon. Links in the description below. I do 2 videos a month over there. We've got a Discord, got a lot going on there, newly started, so definitely check that out if you want to be part of that. And I'm going to link some videos for you at the end as always, and I'll talk to you guys in my next 4K review.